Hello from the Appalachian Trail. It's day 68 and I'm at mile 512. So I just set up camp and I'm sitting in the smoke here. I just set up camp. There's my hammock behind me. The AT is actually right there about 20 yards behind me. And I got this nice creek here. Good water supply here. So that's where I got my water for tonight and tomorrow. Plus I got the sound of the creek all night long, so that's good. This is actually a perfect place. I got my fire going, and I'm gonna make dinner with that. I just boil water, so it's not really making dinner, but it just smells better with the smoke and the fire. It's just better being out here with a fire. It's not that cold, but I mean, it's not cold at all, but it's nice to have a fire. So what I do is I make an upside down fire. So I put the big wood, might be hard to see there, but I put the big wood on the bottom, and then I put smaller logs on top of that, and then smaller on top of that. See the big ones on the bottom? And then I make like an A-frame with a little bird's nest to get it all started. And then the fire burns down into the bigger logs as it goes. And then when I'm done, or when it's ready to cook, then I just have some nice hot embers. And water boils pretty fast at that point. And I get to look at a fire in the meantime. So this is really a perfect spot right here. There's a shelter about a half a mile down. There's 3 hikers there. The shelter I stayed at lunch, there was about 5 tents set up out in the meadow in front of the shelter. So it's that time of the year where it starts getting busy. So this tree here, actually, I pushed it down because it was leaning up against the branches of the tree that I'm tied to. So I just pushed it down, knocked it out of the way. A lot of nice dead branches to start my fire. There's a nice spot further down where I went along the same creek, but there were dead trees everywhere. And just branches just hanging from the tree. It looks like it was a bad spot for a hammock anyway. Bad spot for a tent even. But this is pretty good. So I got my stuff set up. My trash is going around. I'm real careful about my trash and leaving stuff. The whole leave no trace behind or whatever it is. I've only lost 2 things on the trail as far as garbage, and one was my stick pick that I left on the end of my stick in Georgia. So that's somewhere down in Georgia on the trail. And then somewhere in North Carolina, or the Tennessee border, it was a very windy, snowy day. I had snowshoes on, and I had an Almond Joy that I opened up in my hand. I took the little candied thing out, and the wind just whipped the wrapper out of my hand. And I was on a ridge in snowshoes. So I put everything down. I went after the candy wrapper. But as I got closer, the wind blew it further down. So those are the 2 pieces of trash that I know that I left on the trail. So I'm really careful about leaving stuff on the trail, picking up after myself. A lot of people are not like that. It's just a lot of trash on the trail. Oh, keep this going here. There we go. I'm gonna pause this just for a second. I had to add some fuel to my fire. free fuel that I didn't have to carry. So the wood around here is not great for fire, but, well, anything's good for fire, but get some good oak. If you split up the oak, you get some really good embers that way, but I'll take what I can get, and this will work. I mean, I only have to boil, I boil a couple of cups of water for my dinner, either Noodumji or a Mountain House dinner. What I do is, if I'm really hungry, I'll add some noodles to my Noodumji, but I always take my beef jerky that I usually eat at the end of the day, and I chop it up and put it in my Noodumji. So the Noodumji is the the dried rice with what's cooked rice, dry, and Yobo dries it in a cast iron pan, puts garlic, ginger, turmeric, lots of olive oil, everything I need to keep moving down the trail. So it's going to be a perfect night. A couple clouds up there, but we got big high pressure system over, actually it's centered off the Atlantic coast, giving us great weather for the next couple of days. In town, my next town is Marion, Virginia. Let's see, that's about 20 miles away from here. So 2 days. They're going to have temperatures in the 60s, high 60s tomorrow, and then the next couple of days in the 70s. So, and I think I'm coming down from the highlands. So I did Pine Mountain, which was right at 5,000 feet. Today I did Iron Mountain. There's still going to be a lot of hills, but they're not going to be at 5,000 feet. I don't think I'm going to see 5,000 feet until New Hampshire. But we'll see. I was worried about the altitude in the wintertime because the winter weather above 4,000 or 5,000 feet or 6,000 feet is a lot. It's very unpredictable, and a lot colder and more snow, but I guess that's predictable. But and now that it's getting warm, I kind of want to stay at the altitude because it's a little bit cooler up here than down at the cities. So the city is usually around 2,000 feet. Damascus, Irwin, and now Marion is my next one, all about 2,000 feet. So when I get up to 5,000 feet, that's about 10 degrees cooler up here, which is good for me at these temperatures. Not so good in the wintertime. So it looks like spring is definitely a little early. I could definitely cook on that now, but I'm going to let it burn down to the coals. Take my time. Enjoy it. No moon tonight, so it's going to be really dark out here. Jupiter will come up pretty soon. So I'll have Jupiter up here. I'll be able to see Jupiter through my tarp across the sky tonight. Rises at about 7, sets about 6. So I can kind of tell when I wake up in the middle of the night if it's after midnight or before midnight. Yeah, it's going to be nice. Nice and quiet. Just the fire crackling, creek running behind that. Got my water all set for tonight and tomorrow. My hammock set up. Just gonna get my food, start eating. And maybe walk up this hill and call my Yobo. After I eat though. Don't want to leave the fire going unattended. I had 4G, a good solid signal, about a quarter mile up. So I'll probably do that. I'll call you Yobo tonight. No more texting. Not tonight anyway. Ooh, fire's going good. Alright, so I'm gonna get ready for dinner. Clean up. I haven't cleaned up yet. I gotta set my water up and get soap out, clean up. Get my food ready. Maybe what I'll do is I'll pause this and then show you my dinner. Okay, I finally got the fire burned down to the coals and put my pan on there. Now I'll get some good boiling water. And let's see, there it is. Now the problem is picking this thing up while it's hot. I need a little pan holder. So now all I have to do is get this over to my shelter. It shouldn't be that hot. Get this over to my shelter and I'll put some food in it. Usually takes about 3 or 4 minutes or so. Depends how hungry I am, actually. So I'll put the Noodumji in here, cut up some, or just break up some beef jerky. So here we are, and I'll be right back. So I'm back, and I got my hot water. Getting kind of dark, it's getting late, but just give you an idea of what I do here. This is my spread. So here's my Noodumji with my beef jerky. Still kind of getting ready there. And then I have some cheese and crackers. So I eat half my crackers with my cheese, and then I eat half of them with my Noodumji. My leftover beef jerky, I'll probably just throw it in there. And then before I go to bed, I always have some hot chocolate. So this is hot chocolate with coconut milk. Really good. So, that's usually what I do for dinner. So when I cook my water on the fire, I usually don't treat it. So I save my drops for drinking water. I just make sure that I boil the water a little bit longer, which is fine. I wouldn't want to do that on my stove because it burns extra fuel. So I think it's ready to eat. Thanks for the Noodumji, Yobo. Saranghae.